Hey guys, it's Lisa and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making over some items and we're going to start with this tray. And as you can see, it's just a basket weave tray with pressed wood on the inside. And I'm going to give this pressed wood a coat, just one coat of the Dixie Belle in the color Fluff. And I'm not sponsored by anyone, but that's the color that I'm using here. And like I said, I'm only going to do one coat because I'm going to be doing some decoupage on this as well. And so I just give it one coat on the inside. And because the bottom is also the pressed wood, I'm going to be giving that one coat of this fluff also. I probably wouldn't have had to do that, but there was a little bit of staining on the bottom, so I just thought, why not just go ahead and paint it. So I just give this a one coat on the bottom, and I'm not going to be decoupaging the bottom, but it covers pretty well, so I just stopped at the one coat. And I was able to buy these feet some time back, and I got a whole box of them, so I just painted up some of these, and I'm going to be putting 4 on these. So I just painted them in the white, and I just went ahead and painted some extra ones because I'm going to be doing a small tiered tray as well, and I'm going to use these same feet on that tiered tray. So one coat on these cover pretty well, and I just go ahead and paint those and set them aside and let them dry. And then they'll be ready to glue on. And the way that I glue these on is here I'm going to be using the Gorilla Glue, and but I'm also using just a little bit of hot glue so that I'll have immediate hold as well. That way I can kind of flip it over and do the rest of it without having to wait on it to dry. But you can't see here because it's out of frame, but I'm using Gorilla Glue and then the hot glue for immediate hold. And then what I'm going to be decoupaging with is these napkins, and I bought these from Amazon, and there were several in a pack, so I was really happy when I got them that there was quite a few. And these are 3-layer napkins, so when I separated this, I had to separate an extra layer off. But I like that because it just makes the layers even thinner, and they started out being a pretty thick napkin. So I'm just pulling these apart. I'm just going to decoupage with that very outer layer. And this was not quite large enough for this tray, so I did have to do a little bit of piecing. But that was pretty easy to do because I have these lines to line it up. So it's very easy to tell how to line that pattern up. So I just kind of cut this to fit on one end, and then I piece that very end, and it works out really well. And if you haven't decoupaged with napkins, I say it a lot, but they are very easy to decoupage with because they lay down really well, and they just when you're using this outer layer, it just makes a real pretty decoupage. And it's hard to tell here, but that I do have those feet on here. So now the next item that we're going to work with are these 2 little baskets, and I'm just going to use them for a tiered tray. And what I forgot to show on this, or I didn't forget, somehow I lost the footage, but I did glue 4 of those little cup legs on this bottom basket. And now I'm just painting the inside, and I painted the bottom here, and not sure why I did that because there really was no reason to do that. But once this dries, I did add those little feet to it, and then now I'm decoupaging the inside with that same napkin. So again, I just separate the layers, and now I'm just decoupaging that very top layer on. And obviously I'm just using Mod Podge here, but you could use Elmer's glue and just the children's Elmer's glue, and just mix water half and half, or half water and half glue, and that makes a good decoupage also. And now that I've let that dry, then I'm just using this little candlestick and gluing the top basket on that. And not sure why I didn't paint the bottom of this one and did paint the bottom of the other one, but that's what happened here. And but then I go back and paint the inside of the top basket, and then also decoupage that, and I didn't bother showing that. But here I'm gluing the bottom of this candlestick to the bottom basket, and then that's going to make a little tiered tray. And then, like I said, I paint the inside of this basket and decoupage the inside of the top basket, and I don't show that on film. But this makes a cute little tiered tray. And then the next item that I'm going to make over is this little wall caddy. It's just a little basket, and it's a very cheap basket. It wasn't Longaberger or anything like that. It was just a very lightweight basket. So I'm going to use this as a little wall planter instead of what it was intended for. Not sure what that is. Maybe mail or something like that. But I'm just going to use it to put some faux flowers in. And this little apple pattern is just not popular at all anymore, so just painting over this. If it didn't have that on it, then I might would have just stained it, but I didn't want to keep that apple pattern here. So I just give this one coat of the Dixie Belle paint in the color Fluff. And I thought I might have to go back and do a second coat, but as it turns out, it covered really well. Even those little apples covered well. So I was able to only do one coat on this. And I didn't bother painting inside. I just painted the inside of that top rim. I didn't bother painting the inside because I plan on putting those flowers in there anyway. But then I wanted some more decor on the front of this, but I still wanted to keep it simple, so I decided to take a tea towel and rip it the width of that little indented area there in the top, and I just ripped it because I like that frayed look, and I just cut two pieces, one for the top and one for the bottom, and then I'm just going to stamp some wording on those and just kind of keep this simple. So I decided here that since I'm going to be putting some flowers in here, that I would just put "You Are My Sunshine." So I'll just put "You Are My" on the top and then "Sunshine" on the bottom. And when I'm stamping lettering on items like this, I like to find my middle and then start with the middle of the wording. So on the bottom there, I'm just going to stamp out "Sunshine." So I start with my S in the middle so that I have somewhat of the middle marked. And that just makes it easier for me. Now I don't work real hard to line this up because I'm going for just a simple, more primitive look. So if they don't line up exactly, that doesn't bother me here. It's still going to work out fine. If I needed them lined up, I could put a straight edge on the top and just kind of put my stamp up against that straight edge. But like I said, it's not an issue here for me. So I'm just going to kind of casually stamp these on here. And then I just glue that little strip of fabric just around the sides and around the back. And then I don't even worry with gluing in the front there because I don't want any of the glue kind of showing through. And then I just very simply arrange these little flower picks in here, and I just kind of cut them down to the length that I needed and just kind of very simply place them in there. And I'm not going to worry with using floral foam or anything like that, because I want to keep these where that I can change out the flowers if I want to. And now I've got this old cabinet door that's just been painted white. I think I might have painted it white sometime back and not ever done anything with it. But I'm just going to paint the inside of this, and I'm just freehanding it here. You could definitely tape that off, but I'm just bad about freehanding. Sometimes that pays off and sometimes it don't, but I just don't like to take the time to tape off, and if I get a little bit out of line, then I can just go back with the other color. But I just give this 2 coats of this Dixie Belle in the color Caviar. And I like the Caviar because chalkboard has a little bit of a dull black instead of just a stark black. And this is actually not going to be a real chalkboard. I'm just going to stencil on it. And somehow I missed the footage of where I stenciled that farmhouse on the top. But now I'm just going to go back and do this little half sunflower. And I want to do that in yellow. And I like this maize yellow, and this is actually a Waverly color, but I like the maize yellow because it has kind of a white base to it, I guess, and so it covers this black better. It shows up against this black better. My first thought was to do the Colonel Mustard, but I just didn't feel like that Colonel Mustard would show up as well on this black. So I just give this a couple of coats, and actually I give it 1 full coat and then just kind of touch up over where I felt like it needed extra. And then that's all that I did for this little sign. Now you could add a hanger on the back. I didn't because my plan was to put it on a large plate rack, but you could add some sort of a hanger, and I probably will do that before I sell it, just because it gives the customer more options. And then if they don't want to hang it, no big deal. They can still put it on a plate rack with that hanger on it. And that is our last item. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to see you in the next. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great evening. God bless you and your family.